So make a Venn diagram to determine the probability that the student randomly selected basically studies. So you always work inside out with this. But before we do that, I like to write my total at the bottom here. So there's a total of 500 students that we're going to be in this gym that we're surveying, okay? So you always work with the inside out. So you work with this section in the middle first, the most inner layer. So with two Venn diagrams, you only have a single overlap. With this one, you have 4 overlapping regions. So what's going to go in this middle section right here?
25.
Good. So 25 students study all 3 subjects. Good. So 25 students study all 3 subjects. Now you go one layer out, and we're going to do the doubles. So 75 students study math and Spanish. Be careful here. So math and Spanish is represented by this whole section right here. So how can I find what goes right here?
Subtract 25.
Subtract. Good. 75 minus 25 is 50. So 50 people go right here, because now the overlapping region of math and Spanish is 75. Do you guys see how I got that? Okay. Now the next one. 100 study Spanish and chemistry. So what's going to go in this box right here? 75. Good. Because this total for the overlap has to add up to 100. 50 study chemistry and math. So how many go here?
Huh? Oh, yeah.
25. So remember, the overlap in general
Oh my god, I got math.
is 50. What?
I got what math is, I think. 150.
I think it is, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember from the top of my head. Yeah, so that's how you get this section. And now we have to go the furthest layer out, and we have to do each individual subject. Now keep in mind, 250 represents the total number of students that study math. But we already have X amount of students in the math circle. So how can we find how many just study math? Good. Subtract. So you're going to do 250 minus 50 minus 25 minus 25. So 150 people only study math.
Can I get Spanish?
Yeah, go ahead.
50.
I think it is, yeah. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. So basically how you find it is, the way I like to think about this is, there's already these people in the circle, so we have to take away the ones that are already there to find how many are only in this section. So yes, 200 minus 50, 150, so this is 50 right here. So that comes from doing 200 minus 50 minus 25 minus 75. So does everybody see how I'm getting those numbers? And then the last one, chemistry, there's 225 students that study chemistry, but we already have 125 students in the chemistry circle. So it would have to be 100. So does everybody see how we got that? Now we move on to the outside. So it's possible to have a senior who isn't enrolled in any of those 3 courses, right? So how could I find out how many seniors of the 500 are not enrolled in any course? Add them and subtract them from? Good. So subtract them from the total. And that amount is actually 25 students who are not in any of these bubbles. So now that we figured out our Venn diagram, and highly recommended if you're doing a triple. It's one thing to do a double without the diagram. A triple without the diagram is very difficult. So I always draw a diagram when I do these. It's just too hard not to. So out of the 500 students total, how many of them take only math?
150.
Good. Of the 500 students total, thank you, how many of them only take chemistry?
100.
Good. And then of the 500 students total, how many of them take only Spanish? Good. So here's this one throws people off, so be careful. Think carefully. How many students study math and chemistry?
50.
50.
How?
Because
Wait. Oh, never mind. Okay.
yeah, so students that study math and chemistry are the students who are in this whole overlap, so you have to add those 2 together. How many students out of the 500 study both math and Spanish?
75.
Good. You have to add the 50 plus the 25. And how many study Spanish and chemistry? 100. How many of the 500 students study none of these subjects? 25. Now, here's the scenario that you were doing earlier by accident. How many students study Spanish and chemistry, but not math?
225.
Wait.
75.
It's just 75, yeah.
How?
So,
What?
students who study Spanish and chemistry, but not math, are the students who fall right here. They study Spanish and chemistry,
Bruh.
but not math. Does that make
I
sense?
added like all those numbers on the side.
Yeah.
And then students who study math and Spanish, but not chemistry. 50. Students who study math and chemistry, but not Spanish.
25.
You're right.
Okay.
And then students who study at least one of these subjects.
475.
475. How'd I get 475?
25 minus.
How did you do that?
500 minus 25.
Oh my god.
They just, or you could add up all the circles. That's the harder way to do it.
Got it.
Yeah. So, we're just going to do a few conversions just to remind you. So if we had to find these as a, say they give you a problem multiple choice, they could give them as percents. So you have to be able to convert them. So 150 divided by 500 times 100, that's 30%. So make sure you know how to convert these to percentages just in case you need to. All right.